You ever ask an AI a question and get an answer that is, well, just completely bonkers? It's not always the AI's fault. A lot of the time, it comes down to how we ask the question. So today, we're going to dive into this really cool technique in prompt engineering that teaches an AI not just to spit back an answer, but to actually reason its way to it.
All right, let's kick things off with a little pop quiz. Which one of these techniques is all about breaking down a tough problem and guiding an AI through it, step by step, so it gets to a more logical answer? Is it A, prompt templates, B, few-shot prompting, C, chain of thought prompting, or D, negative prompting? Go ahead, take a second and think about it.
And the answer is C, chain of thought prompting. If you picked that one, you absolutely nailed it. But, knowing the right answer is one thing. Understanding why it's the right answer, well, that's where the real magic is. So let's get into it.
So what exactly is this thing? Chain of thought prompting, or COT for short, is pretty much what it sounds like. Instead of just asking for the final answer, you're telling the AI, hey, show me your work. You're prompting it to lay out its entire thought process, one step after another. It's all about revealing the journey, not just the destination.
Okay, so how does this actually play out in practice? Let's take a look under the hood. We're going to break down the anatomy of a chain of thought prompt and see how it gets an AI to, think more like we do, one logical step at a time.
The whole process is actually beautiful in its simplicity. First, you give the AI a complex problem. But then, and this is the game changer, you specifically ask it to break down its reasoning. This forces the model to actually outline its logic step by step before it even thinks about giving you the final answer. It completely stops it from just taking a wild, lazy guess.
So why do we even bother with this? What's the big payoff? Well, it all comes down to one massive benefit: accuracy. Seriously, when you're dealing with anything complex, math problems, logical puzzles, you name it, making the AI think step by step can just dramatically, and I mean dramatically, improve its chances of getting the answer right.
So now we know why chain of thought prompting is the correct answer. But hey, to really make sure this sticks, it helps to understand why the other options from our little quiz were wrong. Let's do a quick process of elimination.
Let's just quickly run through those other choices. Prompt templates? That's really just about making sure the output looks the same every time. It's all about consistency. Few-shot prompting? That's kind of like giving the AI a couple of quick examples to learn from. And negative prompting is pretty simple. You're just telling the model what not to do. See? None of those are actually about building a logical argument from the ground up.
And that's really the key difference right there. Chain of thought is totally unique because it's all about the how, the actual reasoning process. All those other techniques? They're more concerned with the input structure or what the output should look like. They're basically setting up the frame, while chain of thought is actually painting the picture inside it.
All right, time to wrap this all up. Let's boil it down to the most important stuff. Think of these as your final exam notes for chain of thought prompting. When you think about it, it's pretty simple. What's the main goal? To get more accurate answers for tough questions. And how do we do it? By breaking the problem into smaller, logical steps. The real key here is that this pushes the AI to go beyond just simple pattern matching and to get into actual sequential reasoning. And the result? You get an answer that's not only more accurate, but it's also transparent. You can see how it got there, which means you can actually trust it. So, we've seen how just a small tweak in how you ask a question can totally transform the quality of the answer you get back. It's like unlocking a whole new level of thinking for the AI. Which brings me to my final thought for you. Now that you know how to build a much smarter prompt, what kind of complex questions are you going to ask?